Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever felt like you literally have to starve yourself just to see a little muscle definition, well, the data we're diving into today is going to absolutely change your perspective. We are breaking down the exact nutritional science that proves you can actually eat a massive volume of food and still lose fat if you just understand how to use macronutrient building blocks. We're going to explore how to totally rethink filling your plate so you can finally get those results without feeling deprived.
Okay, let's dive right in. Here's our structured nutritional roadmap for today. We're covering why you're not losing fat, the sheer power of lean protein, the real truth about dietary fats, how to choose the right carbs, and finally, getting real results with real food. Let's get to it.
Section 1. Why you're not losing fat. So, let's kick things off with a hard truth from the source material. The number one reason your progress stalls out, it's usually your nutrition. Specifically, the macronutrient ratios you're working with. Just take a look at this visual math. Both of these plates represent meals made with healthy whole foods. But if you look a little closer, plate A packs 450 calories, but only gives you 28 grams of protein. Meanwhile, plate B is visually way bigger, it's going to keep you fuller longer, gives you a massive 42 grams of protein, and, get this, it actually costs you 100 fewer calories. Optimizing your food choices like this so you maximize fullness while staying in a calorie deficit, that is the absolute foundation of our entire explainer today.
Moving on to Section 2, the power of lean protein.
When it comes to building our first meal, the source material points straight to the absolute MVP of fat loss, and that is lean protein. But the data is crystal clear on what the word lean actually means in this context. Basically, if you take 100 grams of a food, a lean protein means those calories are coming almost entirely from protein, with little to zero tag-along carbs or fats. And if we don't understand this distinction, it is incredibly easy to accidentally blow through your daily calorie budget on hidden macros, all while you're just trying to hit a basic protein goal.
Now, looking at this comparison was a major light bulb moment. Lentils are incredibly healthy, for sure, but to get just 18 grams of protein out of them, you're forced to also take in 40 grams of carbohydrates, which costs you 230 calories. Now compare that to the chicken breast. You get a whopping 31 grams of protein, 0 carbs, and barely any fat. See the difference? You don't have to spend extra calories on other macros just to get the protein your body desperately needs.
And it makes total sense why we prioritize this stuff. We are literally made of protein. It repairs our muscles, our skin, hair, and nails. But for fat loss specifically, the data shows protein is the most highly satiating macronutrient on the planet. It fills you up and stops those sudden, aggressive, hangry binges right in their tracks. Plus, it acts like an ultimate shield for your muscle mass while your body is busy burning off fat stores.
I found this next stat absolutely wild. Did you know roughly 30% of the calories you consume from a protein source are burned off by your body just through the process of digesting it? It's known as the thermic effect of food. Basically, your body literally has to work harder and burn more energy just to break down a piece of chicken compared to, say, a bowl of pasta. So let's actually put this into practice for breakfast. You can easily whip up a massive 50-gram protein scramble for under 400 calories. Here's how. First, start with some chopped turkey bacon to get that flavor and baseline protein. Then, use 2 whole eggs to get those healthy fats. But here's the trick. Bulk up the volume and the protein by pouring in 150 grams of liquid egg whites and some earthy mushrooms. Finally, top the whole thing off with 80 grams of cottage cheese. It melts beautifully, kind of like a rich sauce, and adds a huge hit of lean protein without blowing your calorie bank for the day.
All right, Section 3, the truth about dietary fats.
It's definitely time we destigmatize dietary fats and officially leave that extreme low-fat era of the 90s behind us. But just as a quick refresher on the math here, while protein and carbs both sit at 4 calories per gram, fat packs 9. That is more than double. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why fat sources physically have to be the smallest portion on your plate. A tiny amount just packs a massive caloric punch.
That being said, going extreme low-fat usually totally backfires. The research really highlights that women, especially, need these good quality fats for healthy hormone production and cycle regulation. Fats support your brain function, they allow you to absorb those vital fat-soluble vitamins, and crucially, they naturally slow down your digestion. If you drop your fats too low, it really messes with your blood sugar stability and can literally turn you into a constantly hungry snack machine.
Now, the real danger highlighted in the source material is what they call the invisible calorie trap. A lot of times, when progress stalls out, even though you feel like you're eating super healthy whole foods, the culprit is unmeasured fats. Think about it, a heavy pour of olive oil in the pan,
a really thick smear of butter on your sourdough, or tossing in a whole avocado. It's all undeniably healthy stuff, right? But those calories add up at lightning speed. You absolutely have to measure your fats. Let's look at a super fast, no-cook lunch that perfectly controls that fat budget. Start with a huge base of organic greens. Then toss in some cottage cheese and a can of tuna for a really powerful hit of lean protein. Next, we add our fat source, exactly 57 grams of avocado. Because we weighed it, we know it's about 103 calories. We get that amazing creamy texture, all those healthy fats, but we remain entirely in control of the math. Season it up with some salt, pepper, and a kick of sriracha. Mix the whole shebang together, and boom, you have a perfect fat loss lunch.
Next up, Section 4, choosing the right carbs.
Let's go ahead and debunk this really stubborn myth that low carb automatically equals fat loss. It doesn't. The golden rule from the data is that 99% of your carbohydrate intake should come from whole foods grown in the earth. We're talking berries, squash, potatoes, oats. Because these whole foods retain their natural water and fiber, they slow down digestion and keep you deeply satisfied. On the flip side, refined carbs like chips, standard store-bought bread, and those sugary cereals have had all that good fiber stripped away. They digest almost instantly, spike your blood sugar, and leave you starving an hour later.
Now you might be wondering, do you actually need to eat carbs at every single meal? Well, the answer is no. A highly effective strategy here is to prioritize your proteins and fats for breakfast and lunch. Doing this keeps your morning blood sugar incredibly stable, which completely prevents those brutal midday energy crashes. Then you can save the vast majority of your carbohydrate allowance for the afternoon and for a nice big dinner.
So the crucial point is matching the right carb to your appetite. Check this out. For the exact same physical volume of food on your plate, kabocha squash is 185 calories, while a sweet potato is nearly double that at 369 calories. Now, both are absolutely fantastic, healthy whole foods, but if you're someone with a massive appetite and you want to eat a huge bowl of food while still staying in a calorie deficit, utilizing higher volume, lower calorie options like that squash, that is a strategic superpower.
Let's build a dinner that uses that exact volume strategy. We start with a big base of mixed greens tossed in a high-protein dressing made out of 0% Greek yogurt, some lemon, and a little Parmesan. Then we load in a massive volume of that roasted kabocha squash. Finally, top it all off with some extra lean ground beef. What you end up with is this wildly satisfying, literally bowling ball-sized dinner. It utilizes whole food volume and lean protein to keep you completely stuffed, all while perfectly supporting your fat loss goals.
Finally, Section 5, real food for real results.
This brings us to a really critical mindset shift, which is stepping away from the whole toxic fake diet trap. I mean, so many of us have tried to survive on those 57-ingredient birthday cake-flavored chemical protein bars or artificial sugar-free syrups. Or we go to the total opposite extreme and try to exist on plain, dry rice cakes and a measly spoonful of egg whites. This artificial, highly processed approach is a total trap. It just leaves you constantly bloated, irritable, addicted to artificial sweetness, and honestly, chronically hungry.
You really have to break that cycle. The research points out that if you just allow your taste buds a few weeks to actually adjust to real, unprocessed foods from the earth, everything changes. You stop fighting those insane cravings, your digestion smooths out completely, your skin will literally start to glow, and you naturally control your hunger levels without ever feeling like you're starving. True, effortless energy really only comes from true food.
I want to share this incredible quote from our source material because it just really hits the nail on the head. Are you a garbage bin? Is it not the greatest gift to be on this planet with an able body? Why not nourish it and give it what it needs to thrive? I love that. We only get one body. Fueling it with highly processed, artificial junk just to chase some arbitrary number on a scale completely misses the entire point of true health.
So, what does this all mean for you? Well, here is the question you have to answer today. Will you choose to keep fighting a losing battle against hunger using fake, processed diet foods? Or will you step up, apply the macronutrient strategies we explored today, and truly nourish your one and only body with real food? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see how you apply this data to your own life.